Report a shot fired at officers trying to stop the vehicle.
We have one officer shot.
We got shots fired. Sounded like an automatic firearm.
Copy, code red, shots fired.
We have an active shooter. We have an active shooter inside the fairground.
Now it's Shots Fired with your hosts TJ Kirgin, Dinah Death Milberg, and the lovely Krystal Powers.
Welcome back to another episode of Shots Fired. I'm your host, TJ Kirgin, a.k.a. Sig Glock and Cold, and I'm super jazzed that we have 50,000 watts, finally. My voice is carrying so far across the state of Missouri, Lewis and Clark can't even see it.
Yeah, even in Illinois.
Even to Illinois?
Yeah, even the communists can hear.
Where the guns are banned in the land of commies?
Yeah.
Yes. You are listening to Shots Fired. That other voice is Alex Dinah Death Milberg. And we do not have the lovely Krystal Powers today. She's taking the week off, and her replacement is the notorious FDE, Chris Dixon. How are you, sir?
What up? I am good. And we got that 50,000 watts of funk going on right now.
Seriously, I mean, like we had they had put up a new tower for us. We used to be like really big down in Union and up in the Troy area and out in Wentzville, Warrenton, St. Peters, but you couldn't get the station really well in St. Louis County. You couldn't get it really well in St. Charles City. You couldn't get it well in North County, South County, West County, whatever. And now you're probably listening to us in Texas because we got 50,000 watts, baby.
I don't think it quite works like that. Maybe Oklahoma.
If it was an AM station at night with cloud cover, 50,000 would get us to Texas.
Whoa.
But the FM frequency does not bounce from the clouds to the ground, so it doesn't go as far.
Cool fun fact. FM stands for fuel module.
I used to be a radio nerd. Can you believe that? Before I was into guns.
I can believe that.
And self-defense. Yeah. And protecting my family and my nation and being a patriot, also known as a terrorist, according to the left. And that's why they call this extremist radio that you're listening to. This is a radio station where most of the time you're hearing political news. We talk about guns, we talk about gun laws, we talk about gun rights, we talk about all things Second Amendment, self-defense. We get heavily into protecting yourself, your home, your family, your property, and your nation from all sorts of bad things, from bad guys to evil to tyranny, all of the above. Which, as we get a little further down the line here, it seems to be more and more of all the time.
There's no shortage. That's for sure.
Hey, Chris, you just started that clock. I think we started that clock late, though. Is that you started the clock for this segment of the show?
Like 3 minutes in.
3 minutes in. Okay, That way we don't go over, because we're actually recording this show on a Thursday
by ourselves with
no Drew is in the studio.
No adults.
Drew is out with the COVID. And Fish is in the other room, broadcasted live with another show.
Swimming around.
So we're left in here to do whatever we want. And nobody to push the cuss button.
No.
We are left completely unattended.
So if you're listening for the first time, we want to know. The way you can let us know, because this station only has one phone, and we're not live. So the best way to let us know is to text the word tactical, TACTICAL. Text the word tactical to the phone number 59769. That's 59769. You send the message, and the message is tactical. Why is it tactical, Alex?
It just is. If you have to ask, you're probably not tactical.
Well, if you have to ask, you don't know that we also are part of a company in St. Louis, headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri, called TacticalSht. Now, I can never say the second word all at once. I have to have friends.
Stupid FCC.
T. See how that works? Let's do it with Chris. SHIT. See? We can say it like that.
I would like to buy a vowel.
Yeah. Would it be better if we had Vanna White? I mean, that's why I miss Krystal. She's always.
I don't think our budget's there yet.
She's always bringing the vowels hot.
Yes, right? Along with the hatred of the seed oils.
Yeah. So we run a company called TacticalSht in St. Peters. It is essentially the world's coolest patriotic outpost.
Think Toys R Us for people who shoot and like to hurt bad guys.
Yes, it's Toys for Us for patriots. I like that.
Yes.
Everything from guns to armor to ammo to suppressors to night vision. Night vision's a big thing, moving really fast right now. And the hottest new words from SHOT Show, thermal fusion.
Ooh. Fusion.
Thermal fusion is just that. It's the fusion of thermal optics. So a thermal optic. A lot of guys use them to hunt pigs and coyotes. Thermal optic, it basically senses heat and it shows heat as a picture.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So think Predator. Right.
Oh yeah. No, that's a good example. I didn't think about that.
So Predator, and then take Predator and smash that up with Call of Duty, right? You got your night vision, which in still today every TV show, including CBS SEAL Team, shows night vision as green, which I always find is funny.
Yeah, that hurts. I just got into that show, by the way. Thanks to you, I finally saw it. I'm like, I keep hearing him talk about this, and I'm pretty hooked.
Yeah, SEAL Team's a good show. It's very well produced, believe it or not, by CBS, and it's just got good stuff. It's like you can watch it as a gun guy, or a military veteran, or even a freaking Navy SEAL, and not be like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Or that doesn't really happen.
And
grenades don't have fire.
And your wife can watch it because it's got
just enough drama and love and death and despair to make your wife happy as well.
Yeah, the guy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel. He's in there. He's the main character, I believe.
One of, yes.
yeah.
This is getting awkward because he's talking about the attractiveness of the males that are in
That's
the show.
just what my wife tells me when we're watching. She's like, I don't know what's going on. Like,
but I like it.
I like it.
Anyway, so in these TV shows, right? You see green night vision, and that's not the thing. So like that was probably the first thing I said. That's dumb. You see these Tier 1 Navy SEAL DevGru, what I guess would be referred to as Gold Team or Red Team.
Yeah, and they're definitely not running green phosphor.
Yeah, those guys aren't using green and haven't been using green for probably a decade.
Yeah.
They're watching black and white TV. Actually, DevGru's probably watching color right now.
They probably got X-ray stuff like shows through walls.
Know it yet. But Call of Duty, you get the night vision, and then up in the corner, you can see where your team members are, and you can tell who's a good guy and who's a bad guy. And the bad guys light up. You know when to shoot them, right? Well, that is exactly what's happening in modern night.
They're not far behind that
with thermal fusion technology.
It's a brave new world.
It is, and did we talk about on last week's Shots Fired or Shot Show recap Part 1? Did we talk about the Holosun fusion?
Yes.
We talked about it a little bit, but we didn't quite get into what it exactly is.
Okay, so Holosun, which is a Chinese-made optic manufacturer for rifles and handguns, and braced pistols. It can be red dots, it can be magnified, it can be all kinds of things. But their newest product coming out is their thermal fusion. That's why I said the buzzword fusion seems to be the big thing. And so it's a night vision mounted gun optic.
Yeah.
Gun mounted optic with an option of thermal fusion. So you can have where you're looking, you're in the darkness and you've got some starlight or some moonlight. So now you're looking through your optic and you see the green night vision. Mm-hmm. But then you can also enhance that with thermal, a couple different options of thermal, and have your reticle integrated. So now you've got a weapon mounted optics platform providing night vision and thermal. It's going to be epic for hog hunting.
Is there enhancement magnification as well?
Digital 1 to 8.
1 to 8, yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't quite figured out how it works yet because it's video and it's reality, and it's some sort of video reality fusion that I can't quite wrap my head around.
Yeah, it's hard to explain.
Science stuff.
But, so if you're looking for that type of technology on your gun because you want to smoke coyotes or you want to go after hogs if you're far enough south of Missouri to have that as a problem, that's the kind of stuff that we sell at our store.
Man, bear, pig. Man, bear, pig needs it. Yeah. Man, bear, pig? Man, bear, pig. Oh, wow. Pig. We got to squeeze
this story.
Oh, wow. We got to squeeze up on this.
We've got time. What is it?
South Park. One of the best episodes. Al Gore was going around at the same time. He was talking about global warming. South Park did a spoof where he was trying to raise awareness of man, bear, pig just to stay relevant. And it's half man, half bear, half pig.
So is this where Respect My Authority comes from? Is it that episode?
No. That one's from the Civil War episode.
Yeah, that's from the Civil War.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. South
They
Park.
actually get the Civil War started by feeding them some more schnapps. That's how the second Civil War started, is an addiction to some more schnapps.
So we need to go get some schnapps.
Yeah, if you want to start the boog, apparently according to South Park, just get everyone hooked on some more schnapps.
Now
and
you're
that's all it
using
takes.
lingo. You said the boog. There's people that have never listened to us before.
Yeah, sorry, I forget
the
that.
boog, meaning the boogaloo, which is a reference to some 80s TV show.
Das Big Igloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo,
Yes,
which is
yes.
quite possibly one of the best, I know you don't appreciate it, but one of the best breakdancing movies known to man.
Yeah.
It's also...
There's like 3 of them. What do you mean the best? There's like
it's the
3.
best.
So anyway, years ago, the social media world embraced the concept of Electric Boogaloo as a way to, in memes, describe the next American Revolution, should there be one. And now the word Boogaloo, just by me saying it, adds me to a list.
You
just
got...
just because I even know the word. So thank you. I'm now adding you all to the list as well.
Was that 1984, The Thought Police? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to the brand new world.
Yeah, we've been living 1984 for quite some time now.
Since 82.
I don't think so. I think it's been since Obama, or maybe since W. Since
W.
Since the
Patriot
since
Act.
the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
That was the
That's
beginning
fair.
of the 1984.
That's fair.
Reagan?
I'd give that. He did pass the Hughes Amendment.
I'm just... That's the only thing I was kind of... Yeah. The Hughes Amendment.
Okay, well, what's the Hughes Amendment? Throw that out.
The 86, where no machine guns produced after 1986 can be sold to civilians. He's the one that there's already restrictions on machine guns.
But I wouldn't put that on 1984.
No.
I don't think there was a whole lot of gun control in 1984 because in that story,
No.
they must have already stripped the guns before they got to that point because there was no mention of it really in my recollection.
Yeah, so then we'd say if we're going off that, we'd say by Clinton.
Clinton.
Because Clinton did the assault weapons ban, so it would start Clinton.
Well,
era.
I mean, but the point you're making is that every president from Reagan to Clinton to Bush, well, maybe not Bush Senior, but Bush W, they've all done things that would be seemingly unconstitutional and pointing this country in the wrong direction, and it doesn't matter what party they are in.
Not a
Just
bit.
an erosion of rights.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
much,
a never-ending erosion of rights. You look at Trump and the bump stock.
Yeah.
Right. So many of you out there that didn't own a bump stock, you said things like, "Oh, those things are dumb anyway. It's just a novelty. Who needs a bump stock anyway?" And and with the stroke of a pen, they changed the rule, and they redefined a machine gun. And even though it's ludicrous. And here we are now, several years later, getting ready to have the same thing happen with the arm braces. Well, we're going to talk about that when we come back from this break. The arm brace rule, some things in my mind have changed in the last week about
significantly
that, and so I want to discuss the arm brace rule as a trap. I also want to discuss some other things that have come to light from this arm brace rule BS. And I want to also talk about the home invasion in Winghaven.
Yeah.
There was a violent home invasion in Winghaven, which is just south of Lake St. Louis on Highway 40, west of Chesterfield, west of St. Louis County. And it hits home with us here in this show because it's close to home, and it's
Very
the kind
close.
of thing we talk about all the time. So we'll talk about that when we come back after this. All right, we're back, and we're talking about the arm brace rule that was just introduced by the Biden administration, by the ATF and the DOJ. We've been talking about it for months, and it's finally here. The only thing they haven't done yet is submitted it to the National Register, I don't think. That's still pending, or it's been submitted, but it hasn't been published. But this rule is probably the most complicated, convoluted piece of commie garbage that has ever been constituted upon the Constitution.
I would say secreted.
Secreted?
Secreted.
Okay.
Ooh, good choice of words.
I like that.
Out.
And at what it is there's a thing called the NFA.
Yeah.
There's the thing. There's the NFA is the National Firearms Act, and then there's the gun control bill or whatever. That basically. So these things defined. From the 80s, we were talking about Reagan did it before.
Yeah.
They actually define what you can and can't own as an American citizen under the Second Amendment. So they're unconstitutional from the get-go, but yet they have become law.
Yes.
They have been enacted by Congress. It's a bill, right? The gun control bill, right? The National Firearms Act Those are acts of Congress.
Yeah.
That is what can cause, that can create laws. And those two things created laws stating that, you can own a machine gun as long as it was made before 1986 and as long as you pay a tax stamp and go through a background check.
Yeah.
So it's like your duck hunting stamp, except instead of, $50, it's $200 or $5 or whatever a duck stamp is these days. You have to pay $200 for every NFA item you own and go through a background check for every NFA item you own. And those background checks typically take anywhere from 6 months to 13 months.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they put a moratorium on machine guns and would not allow anything after 1986 to be sold to the public, that also created scarcity, which caused machine guns to go up in value tremendously and continue rising in value today.
Like daily.
Yeah, so a good machine gun is going to cost you somewhere between $20,000 and $50,000
easily.
Unless you're a criminal, then you're just going to buy a Glock switch on Wish, and you can go rat-a-tat-tat all you want for $30.
Yeah.
Or you could literally use a coat hanger or drill a third pin. There's a million different ways.
I don't know about that.
There's a million different ways a criminal can get a machine gun easy and cheap.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to be illegal? You can do it.
Yeah. Well, that's the stupid part about the laws. The laws only affect the law-abiding citizens. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wait, are you suggesting that firearm laws don't do anything?
Yeah, I think Chicago is a pretty good example of that.
Or California, or New York.
I mean, California, where there was 2 mass shootings in the last week. And both of them used guns that were banned and magazines that were banned.
It's almost like these criminals don't care.
Yeah, and they still shot 10 or 12 people,
It's weird. It's weird.
It's cool, though, because to stop them, you have to now charge them. Instead of, shooting back, you have to engage in hand-to-hand combat, medieval style.
I'm going to start carrying a claymore sword.
Yep.
A what?
Claymore sword.
A claymore sword?
Yeah, one of those big, William Wallace-looking
Highlander.
hefty boys.
They're going to be
Highlander. Good reference, yeah.
And there can be only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think
half.
open carry swords would be cool. I think open carry guns is dumb. I think you should conceal carry your gun.
100%.
If you're going to carry a sword, open carry sword is all day long.
It's the only way to do it.
Yeah, no one's going to mess with you.
I want to do it.
You know what? Side note, I think we should do a fun video and just go to Walmart open carrying a sword.
I think you go to jail for that because you can only have knives and blades within a certain...
No, that's concealed. That's concealed.
So you're saying I can open carry a Glock 40 with my Stendo.
Yes, sir.
At Walmart, but I can't open carry my big Viking sword.
Only if unless you're wearing chainmail, then it's acceptable.
Oh, it's acceptable with chainmail.
Who's gonna stop you? You have a freaking sword.
We are way off track. We were talking about the arm race rule, and we got to talking about machine guns and the NFA. The NFA has another little known thing called short barrel rifle.
Yeah.
Right. So any rifle, your lever gun, your deer gun, your bolt action gun, your AR-15 has to have a 16-inch barrel.
Yes, sir.
Among other things.
18 for shotgun.
And a certain length overall, and a length of pull between the trigger and the back of the rear of the stock, and fully extended, yada, yada, yada. It determines what a rifle is. Anything shorter than that, it would be considered a short-barreled rifle. And you have to get permission from the king via paying your $200 tax stamp and getting your background check and waiting 6 to 13 months in order to manufacture a short-barreled rifle. In other words, to cut your barrel off. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And that's how it works, right? You do a Form 1 with the ATF saying, I have this rifle and I would like to make it shorter if it pleases the king. And then you get the approval back, and then you take the upper off and you throw it in the garbage, and you go to TacticalSht in St. Peter's and buy yourself a 8-inch upper and slap that on there and pop those 2 pins, and now you are a legal owner of a short-barreled rifle. Well, years ago, some genius invented a thing called an arm brace.
Yeah.
And just like we do as humans and gun owners, we like to cheat as much as possible, and arm braces it was originally developed for people with disabilities. Mm-hmm. For veterans and whatnot. Mm-hmm. That was the reason they got it approved by the ATF that this device can be put on a AR-15 pistol as a stabilizing brace so that you could fire it one-handed, okay, and actually hit what you're aiming at.
Yep.
And so that evolved over time to something much more diabolical. It was
a little bit.
It was one of these things where you had this giant ugly arm brace on your gun, and then it became then everybody had the giant ugly arm brace.
I think they gave us an inch and we took about all of them.
You're not wrong.
Next thing you know, instead of these big ugly arm brace things, it started looking more and more like a stock. It started feeling,
and then all of a
like
sudden it started adjusting.
You started being able to put them on rifle buffer systems.
That's when I first became suspect. Was the first time you showed me video from SHOT that I wasn't at, where I'm like, wait. So you could put a 6-position carbine buffer on and just put that on, and it's a break. Really?
Because it's only 5 positions. Oh, and it's made out of plastic and or metal. We played ourselves, boys.
Yeah. So we kept taking inches equal miles, and here we are today with reportedly, and this is a huge variance, but somewhere between 4 million and 40 million of these things in American hands, on people's guns. It has become common use.
Too many for police.
Because the ATF, years ago they were like, well, if you shoulder it, you go to prison.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, no, we'll change it. You can shoulder it as long as it's incidentally.
You're not doing it to circumvent.
You're not doing it on purpose. Blah blah blah. And we always kind of figured, okay, the only time somebody's going to be charged with a crime is if they use the gun in a crime and it's got an arm brace and they shouldered it in that crime.
And you can prove it.
Yeah. And so arm braces continue to sell. I mean, you could buy an arm brace gun at Cabela's and at a Bass Pro and, and probably Academy. Everybody was selling arm brace guns. Every manufacturer in America was putting out guns with arm braces. Literally, pistols became the #1 import to America with Strybogs and what was the one I said the other day?
Oh man!
Well, you got the B&T,
CZ Scorpions,
CZ Scorpion.
Yeah,
those all became very popular because
Dracos.
They're AK-47 pistols became very popular because you could slap an arm brace on it and have a stable shooting platform.
Yeah,
it was ugly, it was cumbersome, and you weren't supposed to shoulder it. But it wasn't a felony. Well, until now. So the DOJ has implemented their rule. The rule is published, and we're going to talk about it right after this break. All right. So the rule for the arm braces has been published, and at first, everybody seems to. I shouldn't say everybody, but people like me that own a bunch of NFA guns and suppressors, machine guns, and short barrel rifles.
Yeah.
I was like, well, they're offering amnesty, so at least they're taking our constitutional right without charging us a tax.
Yeah.
Thanks, King. So it's okay if you take my rights as long as you don't charge me money. I'm being facetious. That's a joke, right? But at the same time, I thought of it as possibly a little mini victory for
free stamps.
Yeah, like okay.
I thought the same thing.
You're gonna give me a free tax stamp and a free short barrel rifle, essentially, and then I can throw this piece of junk arm brace away and put a stock on it, for free. And it's just another gun registered with the NFA. I already have them, so that's no big deal to me. I don't care. They know I have machine guns. What do I care if they know I have arm brace pistols? It doesn't matter.
It's a moot argument at this point.
To you, the gun owner that is not already doing NFA stuff, this is absolutely de facto registration. This is forced registration, and I understand why you're up in arms over it.
Hey.
Well, why? Let me put it this way: you should be up in arms over it, but you're not. You're going to throw your arm brace away, or you're going to do the amnesty thing, and you're going to register it. And honestly, I got a lot of hate for it, but I was like, free stamps for everybody, and oh well, I'll take the 14 arm brace guns that I own, and I'll submit 14 applications through e-file for the NFA system with the ATF. I'll do the background checks, do the fingerprints, do the pictures, and send them in. And I'll turn up, and then I'll buy 14 stocks, and I'll turn all 14 of these pistols into short barrel rifles.
I mean, that's
legally
$3,000 worth of stamps you'd be getting for free.
Yeah, and I put them all in my trust so that then I could pass them along to my son or my daughter when I pass, right? And so that was the plan.
But wait.
It gets worse.
You know how plans always kind of fall apart when you make contact with the enemy?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the enemy, this rule is almost 300 pages. And a lot of the bad stuff, the really, really bad stuff, is buried deep in the rule.
It's almost like they do that on purpose.
Yeah. It's in the FAQs. It's in the pictures of it. It's in the photo examples.
It's in the FAQs. And it is. He's not joking, guys.
No. That's the dumbest thing.
It is bad enough that you will want to take your phone and frisbee it through a wall. It's bad.
It's taken about a week or two for people in the industry to read this and read it again and read it again and say, did I read that right?
Yep.
And then to do the videos and to create the content like we're doing now to spread the word. Okay? It's an absolute trap. If there's only I'm going to go with the 4 million number. Okay, I know this industry, and I know nobody. S&P Tactical did not make 40 million of these things. I think that would be impossible unless they were being mass produced in China for the last like 20 or 30 years. Yeah. There's no way there's 40 million arm braces on the market.
Yeah, there was a shortage for a little bit.
I know how much product people sell, and there ain't no 40 million of anything being sold in this country.
No.
Unless it's like N95 masks during COVID or something.
Or M855.
What about like the other companies though, like DFA?
Well, right. But I'm just saying, 40 million is a big number.
That's a big number.
So I'm going with the 4 million. Okay. So, but even with 4 million Americans, if there's 4 million Americans out there that own arm-braced pistols, and maybe there's 10 or 20 million. I'm just going on the low end. It is estimated that with the current wait times, with the NFA registration process, that it's going to take approximately 80 years for them to process the background checks.
Right, that's a little bit of a wait.
It
I'm used to
already
13
takes 6 months to 13 months under normal volume.
Yeah.
Right. This is not just adding your name to the list. This is a real background check by the federal government.
Yeah.
This is not a 4473 when you buy a gun at Cabela's. This is where they call the NICS system and make sure you're not a terrorist or, have an ex parte order, with your wife, or you just got out of prison. This is a real background check. Like they're supposed to even talk to your neighbors. They don't. They're supposed to talk to the sheriff. They don't. Things like that.
Thank God.
Yeah. Right. Let's cut that by a fourth and say it takes them 20 years to do all the background checks.
Still.
Okay. Now, there is an NFA rule that says that if your background check does not come back within 88 days,
enforcement action.
No, well, that comes next. If it doesn't come back within 88 days, it's an automatic denial. Okay? So if the ATF or the FBI cannot complete your background check in 88 days, it's an automatic denial.
And that makes you a felon.
Yeah.
Because of a technicality?
Then you can't pass your background check.
And if you get an automatic denial, that goes on every single gun you ever try to purchase again.
Let's try to remember.
Then you're in felony possession of a firearm.
Let me back up here. You have, in order to get to the automatic denial in 88 days, you had to fill out a form that said, I, Joe Smith, have manufactured a short-barreled rifle.
You mean when you filled out your confession?
When you fill out your confession, and you have to send them a picture of it. You have to send the federal government evidence that you have broken the law, and in the form that you're filling out, it says that enforcement is at their discretion. It's discretionary enforcement.
Yeah. This is a real nice try, ATF.
Okay, so discretionary enforcement. You're giving them your confession, and they will decide whether or not to prosecute you. But you know what? They're going to prosecute you because they're not going to get the background check done in 88 days.
Nope.
And at the end of the 88 days, it's an automatic denial.
Yep.
One of Gun Owners of America, GOA's, attorneys at SHOT Show went to a bureaucrat at the ATF booth, an actual ATF agent, and asked them if they knew about the 88-day thing. Yes, we do. Is it an automatic denial after 88 days? Yes, it is. In the case of arm braces, if it takes more than 88 days to do the background check, will it be an automatic denial? Yes, it will.
Whoops.
What will you do, ATF, if somebody is automatically denied
shoot your dog
due to the 88-day delay? Enforcement action will be taken. Quote, end quote. They have admitted it at SHOT Show that after the 88-day denial, enforcement will be taken.
Yo, they're coming for your guns, bro.
They're coming for your guns.
They're coming for your
dogs. And this is going to be the largest gun seizure in the history of this country.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Hope them plates are level 4, bud.
That's not all.
The deal keeps getting worse.
It does. It totally continues to get worse. What are some other things that are buried in this thing?
In the facts section.
Yeah.
So before, with NFA weapons, it was other people could use them as a rule of line of sight. So if you have a suppressed weapon, a machine gun, a business of machine gun rental, as long as the owner or possessor of said NFA weapon is within line of sight, physical line of sight, the person is good to use it. That has clearly been stated that is no longer the case. Yeah, they are not allowed to be in possession.
Let me tell you how. I'm actually going to pull up the actual wording.
Yeah.
And so what this means is, so I own suppressors, to quiet down my guns, because I believe in silencing the Second Amendment, not destroying it.
We need to get the hashtag going.
We do. Silence the Second. Hashtag silence the Second.
Social media.
Use that in your social media. Because when I'm king, I'm going to silence the Second. Also, all weapons will be mandatorily suppressed. But, so, with, where are we going with this? Help me out.
The
NFA thing, right? Companies. So if I have suppressors, I have suppressors, and if I want to go have a range day with my buddies and take my son with me, it's okay. Up until now, it was okay for me to hand my suppressed pistol or my suppressed rifle or my short-barreled rifle or my machine gun to my son and let him shoot it in my presence. Or let my friends shoot it. Hey, you want to see what it's like to shoot a suppressed machine gun?
Hey, you want to shoot an MP5?
Yeah. And so that was always perfectly legal as long as I was in possession of the firearm and it was in my line of sight. Now, I couldn't loan it to you. You couldn't go to the range with it without me. That would put us both in prison. Okay? But in the FAQ section, again, of the e-file, the online NFA application, as it's been customized for arm braces specifically, they've added a few things. And in there, one person actually asked, "Is it okay if I do this?" And it says, "No, it is not. That it is a crime essentially to have." For someone else to have not only possession of it, physical possession, constructive possession.
What did that? I don't even understand what that meant.
So what you're saying is
if you think about shooting it,
Machine Gun America, any other place where you can rent a firearm that has a suppressor or goes rat-ta-ta-ta-ta.
This could put those companies out of business.
It was nice knowing you guys.
Wait, and constructive intent, so that means if you're waiting in line for your turn to shoot, you could be charged?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, which constructive intent was always, in the NFA world, constructive intent was having a rifle that was not a short barrel rifle and having a short upper in the same vehicle or in the same house or in the same safe. They weren't put together, but you have constructive intent, and that was a way they could prosecute you, even though they couldn't catch you. For the guy that would just pull the pins when he'd leave the range, right? Well, now constructive intent, they're taking it they're chipping away at our rights by basically saying that we can't even loan the gun to someone else to shoot in our presence. And it's in black and white.
Who is this protecting? Who is this protecting? Who is this defending? Who is this keeping these firearms from?
Yeah.
What is this for?
That's the real question.
What is it for?
I think it's to be able to prosecute us.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Because, think about it. That now means that me and Dixon are at the range. I've got my suppressed pistol sitting there. It's hot. I can't put it back in the bag. I run to go to the bathroom and grab a water, come right back. He's not touching it. He's not shooting it. He's standing by the table making sure no one steals my stuff. That's constructive intent. He's now committing a felony? Really?
Who is this protecting? It's not protecting grandma and grandpa down the street. It's not protecting the rich. It's not keeping firearms out of bad guys' hands.
Nope.
It's literally making people that follow the rules every day, you pay your taxes, felons.
Yeah, here it is right here. It's question. If I am the registered owner of an NFA item, can someone else shoot my item in my presence? No. Only responsible persons listed on the approved registration may have physical or constructive possession of the NFA item. And so not only are they creating these rules that are literally de facto gun registrations and traps to incriminate millions of Americans. They're also changing the game in the FAQ section. You know, the law does not say that.
No,
there is nothing in the National Firearms Act that says I can't let you shoot my machine gun in my presence.
But now, since it's in the FAQs and it's in writing, that's as good as gold in the court of law, because it's a direct question with a direct answer. You can't lawyer your way around something like that.
It's pretty.
I'd love to argue with you, but I got nothing.
Yeah, it's pretty scary stuff, you know, what's going on. So, how am I handling this? Well, it's really easy. I am not going to NFA register my arm-braced pistols. Me personally, I'm going to just deconstruct them. I'm going to remove the arm braces and remove any way for the arm brace to attach to the firearm, and separate those arm braces and attachment devices, whatever they might be. I'm going to separate those from my person. In other words, I'm going to get rid of them. They're not going to be in my possession anymore until such time as this is struck down in federal court, which I know it will be, because it's an absolute atrocity. And I wouldn't even say of law, because it's not law. It's merely rulemaking done by a bureaucratic department of the federal government. This is not an act of Congress, and but yet it will take an act of the courts and ultimately the Supreme Court to reverse it, unfortunately. And that, as we've seen with bump stocks, which are going through the process of undoing that now,
it's not a quick
process. It takes about 6 years, even when it's obviously unconstitutional.
These aren't even common sense gun laws.
Anyway, we will be back with the next segment of Shots Fired, the final segment after this. All right. Well, my blood pressure is up.
I had to cool down a little bit from that one.
Anytime we're talking about this arm brace thing, or anything that the Biden administration or any administration does to take away our firearms rights, that gets me all amped up.
Just a little.
But that's why we do this show, so that we can get you guys talking about it with your gun owner buddies, and get you guys calling your congressmen and your senators. And yes, we live in Missouri. We've got the Second Amendment Protection Act in Missouri, but that's not going to stop the ATF from coming and taking away your arm-braced pistol. It will just stop the sheriff's department from helping. That's all. So make sure you talk to your politicians. Now I want to talk about something a little bit more serious.
Yeah.
A little bit more close to home.
Local news.
This is local news in St. Louis, Missouri. And we've got kind of an inside scoop on it. There was a home invasion in Winghaven about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I believe it was January 7th. Winghaven is a densely populated suburban area of Highway 40 in the South Lake St. Louis area, South O'Fallon area.
Nice hood.
Yeah, nice hood. A lot of swingers down there.
I keep hearing weirdness about that.
A lot of soccer moms and swingers in the Winghaven.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Soccer moms and swingers. They go well together. But anyway, there was a what I say? There was a home invasion, which, we've talked about on this show before. Matter of fact, one of my friends had their home invaded in a very similar manner just a few months ago. Yeah,
that's right.
And we've since armed both the husband and wife of that home with Strybogs, with arm braces, and red dots, and
no, they totally don't have arm braces.
Well, no, they do, and they're just going to have to figure out what they're going to do, because everybody has to figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to deal with this situation. But anyway, so this home invasion, I'll let you tell the story, at least the beginning of it.
Sounds like, from what I was told, the husband, wife, 2 kids sleep in the house. Wife wakes up the husband. Hey, strange noise coming from the kitchen.
There was a crashing noise, and they thought, and the husband thought it was the cat.
Thought it was the cat. So
something breaking.
Didn't grab a weapon, nothing. Just went into the kitchen. Expect to see the cat, yell at the cat, pick up whatever it was. That is not the case. He walks out to he walks out to, I can't remember for the life of me, it was either 5 or 6 individuals, several of them armed. They were black males. We don't have to say individuals on this show. There were 5 black males in his house, armed with handguns. And, well, not all of them were armed.
Correct.
It was, I believe, 2 or 3 were armed, and they start demanding money, valuable stuff, then gets pistol whipped in the face, fractures his nose and his orbital, goes down, tells his kid to get back in the room.
All of these bad guys are 14 to 17 years old.
Yeah.
All juveniles in the eye of Missouri law.
just young kids.
Yes.
Just a bunch of young kids.
Innocent young kids getting ready to go to college. And they steal his car keys to his work truck, get ready to roll out. One of them turns around and goes to execute him. Fires.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah, turns around to execute him, shoot him, be done with him. After he's already been pistol whipped.
So he's on the ground bleeding.
Yeah.
From the face, and this thug turns around as they're leaving the house with the valuables and the keys to his car and attempts to shoot him in the head.
Luckily, when he was doing the pistol whipping, the magazine fell out, so he only had one round in the chamber. Gun went off. He missed, didn't fire again because he didn't have any more rounds. Left the magazine at the crime scene, luckily, and bounced. They split up in two different vehicles because they had the stolen vehicle, which, again, they used a stolen vehicle to go there. And from my understanding, the way the police were alerted in the first place is the scanners at the stoplights picked up the license plate that it was reported stolen. So there's cruisers in the general vicinity looking for that vehicle because they got an alert it was a stolen vehicle. Then they're in the guy's vehicle they stole from his house. One crew goes off and I believe wrecks and crashes and rolls over in Ladue. The other decides out of all places to go the opposite direction and head towards Defiance. And they end up making it to the Katy Trail. Police drones chase after them and track them down, and they end up apprehending them. At which point, they were arguing in the squad car about who shot the guy, and one even commented to say, how's the guy we shot, thinking they hit him, not realizing they missed.
Because his face was so bloody, they thought they hit him.
Yeah. And also basically stating and bragging that they knew the deal. They were going to go to juvie for a little bit, get released, and be right back at it because that's what they're used to in the city with Kim Gardner and everything going on. However, because they're apprehended and committed their crime in St. Charles County, that's not going to be the case. They're out here.
Yeah. Update on that. One of them was 18.
Okay.
Hakazamanana is his name. Hakazamana. I don't think there's not a second na. Hakazamana Claude is his last name. He's 18. He's charged with burglary, robbery, armed criminal action, and assault by the St. Charles County prosecuting attorney. Judge set his bond at $2 million, no 10%. So he's not going anywhere for a hot minute.
No.
But the other ones, 17, 16, and two 15-year-olds, have to be processed through juvenile court unless they're, found to be tried as an adult. And what really gets me, so many of the housewives and whatnot that my wife knows and that in St. Charles County had heard this story. It had been on Facebook. It had been on, but the news media in St. Louis County, St. Charles County, downplayed it to say some teenagers broke the back sliding door of a home, hit the homeowner in the face, and demanded money. That was the headline.
Yeah, it's a lot worse than that.
This was a violent home invasion and attempted murder.
Yeah.
But the media downplays it.
Yeah, it ain't no smash and grab.
Remember this instance when you hear, well, why does anyone need a 30-round magazine?
Because there's
you
five of
have
them.
5 people in your home,
3 of which have guns.
3 of which have guns.
We're about to have a shootout.
None of which probably know how to aim said guns.
That's not good
Your
odds.
kids are in the house.
Yeah.
Your family's there.
You're going to have to be extremely efficient and judicious with your shot placement and do it very rapidly.
You better work on your split times.
One thing I want to come out from this story is the understanding that these home invasions are happening. They're happening a lot, and the media is not talking about them.
And they specifically target in nice areas, too. I'd like to mention that.
Yeah.
Those of you who say, I live in O'Fallon, I live in
I got a ring
Winghaven,
cam.
I don't have to worry. Yeah, that doesn't matter. They're specifically going to your areas because they know you have nice things and you live in a nice area, and that doesn't happen out there. Just had to get that out.
Unfortunately, some of us that live in a nice area moved out of North County, and we still about that sometimes.
We remember.
Yeah,
That's oh god. Go ahead, TJ.
Big props to O'Fallon PD and St. Louis County PD and St. Charles County PD for 2 pursuits.
Yeah.
Getting and having both of them end with bad guys in custody.
Absolutely.
The one pursuit ended in Ladue. The second one, like you said, down in Defiance.
And I know they're attempting to charge as many as they can as adults.
They should be.
This is not the first time this happened. It sounds like this is a regular thing, that they aren't worried about getting caught. They weren't frightened at all. They know they just go to juvie and get released right back on the streets, like we've been seeing city to city nationwide.
I bet they bought those guns at Cabela's, right?
Yeah, of course they did.
Actually, the gun was stolen from Florissant. One of the guns recovered was stolen from Florissant. So, stolen gun, stolen car, home invasion, another stolen car, pursuit, arrest, attempted murder.
Yeah.
And this is all on like a Tuesday night at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So they were definitely sleeping when this happened. This is when you get woken up in the middle of the night by the proverbial breaking glass.
This is a good reason not to have cats. I'm going to say that.
Right.
Just another
I'm
good
sorry.
reason.
I have 2 cats and 4 dogs.
You have 4 horses that you call dogs.
Yeah. And if I hear a noise from my bedroom, and it's probably the cat, but I'm still bringing my gat to check out the cat.
Absolutely.
Right? Because I am not going to get pistol whipped by some 17-year-old gangbanger in my house in front of my kids.
Nope.
And the fact is, it just proved that they tried to execute this guy, that you've got to fight like you're the third monkey on the ramp to the Ark, and it's raining like a mofo. These people are in your house. The time for negotiation is over.
And they're not going to just take your valuables.
It's time to kill dudes.
Yeah.
Kill them quickly, violently. Make the other ones run away by the amount of violence you perpetrate on their friends and the way that you do it. The way that you can get yourself to that level is A, be prepared, and 2, be trained. Right?
Please get training.
Yeah, please do.
Being prepared is as simple as carrying the gun with you to go. After this story, now I admit we all get lackadaisical, right? We talk on every night. I checked every door of the house. It's kind of my husband duty.
Same, yeah.
And I don't have my gun typically when I'm checking the doors, but I still got my blade on me.
Yep.
Right, in case I get into a hand-to-hand scuffle with somebody. And in this case, if the dude's getting close enough to try to pistol whip me,
he's getting knifed.
He's getting knifed in the eyeball and a couple other places. But
this is why I always scream, "Hey, I'm here!" when I come over to his house.
Yeah.
I make it well known, and I'm very loud when I pet the dogs.
But the fact is, it was last night. We heard something in the garage fall over, and my wife goes, "Probably cat." I'm like,
I'll go look.
I'll go look. But I brought the choppa to the garage because you never know. My friend Randy Gorey got ambushed in his garage, got stabbed to death, and the only reason the guy didn't kill his kids is because the girlfriend came home with the dogs. And this is a $16 million house in Edwardsville. My friends that were home invaded here in Wildwood, you're talking about a $2 or $3 million home. 2 or 3 kids in the house, husband and wife. They're in the house. They've got guns, and this happens now in Winghaven. It's literally all the time in this St. Louis County, St. Charles County area.
Yeah.
It's getting worse in St. Charles County, and that stuff's coming west.
If you need to seek training, guns, gear, equipment, plate carriers and stuff, come see us.
Yeah. We're gonna have to
Shiznit.
We are beginning training. We're doing blade training. We're doing tactical jiu-jitsu. We're doing all kinds of self-defense, night vision training, all these things. Check out the website, shop.TacticalSht.Official.com. This is the end of the show. We've probably gone over, but Drew, God bless his heart, when he gets done with COVID, he'll be able to edit this thing and make it all fit in this little box. We'll see you guys next week on the next episode of Shots Fired, and hopefully we get a little bit more freedom between now and then and a little less tyranny.